Hello. Yeah.
Drunk.
Okay. Yeah, no, we don't even need to start off with a normal intro. Honestly, welcome back to Logical Idiots Podcast. You know, if you've heard any of these, you know what's going on now. Uh,
Welcome back, idiots.
yeah, I'm Austin. That fuckhead who just talked is Grant, and Mason who interrupted the beginning is, yeah, why he's Mason. I just said his name.
Wrong lever.
Yeah, exactly.
Today.
So, yeah, today we're gonna be discussing high school stories. You know, it's interesting. Most of our fan base is in high school or, just starting college, so, yeah. Why don't we, start it off? I know Grant has a good, interesting fight story he probably wants to talk about, so we'll go ahead and let you,
Wait,
take it away.
you want me to start?
Yeah, start it off well.
Okay, so I'll set the scene here. This is sophomore year, so I'm a big guy. I was probably 250 pounds in sophomore year, 260 pounds, somewhere in there.
I've twisted stone sex appeal, my guy.
Yeah, literally. So, how our school was set up before COVID, where Austin and I went to high school,
Yep.
was we had block scheduling. So that meant on one day you had 4 classes, and on another day you had the other 4 classes, and then you switched back and forth throughout the school year. That way you had 1 hour and hour and a half classes instead of 45-minute classes.
Yep.
So it gave teachers a little bit more time to teach. And I know that that doesn't really happen much anymore because of COVID. Like everybody switched back to the 8-period schedule, which really blows.
Oh, it
Like
was
I feel
awful.
really sorry for people.
Yeah, you should have.
And so on one of the class times, because you only actually scheduled 7 classes, but that meant there were 8 periods every 2 days. So that other period was called homeroom. And so you'd go and hang out in your homeroom class, and it was split up into 2 periods. You had your first section of homeroom, which was that's where you had to go so that they could take attendance, and you would do your homework in that time, that kind of thing. And then there was the second half of homeroom, and that's where the teachers would let you out to go talk to other teachers about assignments or stuff like that and get help on homework.
Oh yeah,
And so
this was before.
yeah,
Okay,
this
I was like, that's not the same. I don't remember that.
this was before.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of time where there was an 8-minute passing period between the first and second halves of homeroom.
Uh-huh.
And so one day I was in homeroom, first period, I did homework and shit, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And I got a little kind of caught up in my own world, and I didn't realize that the second half, that the end of the first half of homeroom had ended. So I get up to go get my stuff, and as I'm out getting my stuff from my locker, on my way to my locker,
Yep.
the second homeroom period bell sounds, right? And after that, everyone's supposed to be in another room or in their homeroom. So
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
I'm
is
walking.
kind of stupid, but you know.
Yeah, it is kind of stupid, but I understand. You don't want kids walking
high
around
school's
everywhere.
stupid. If you're in high school, I'm sorry for you. Just like high school in general is fucking stupid. The teachers, yeah, okay, it's not really teachers' fault. It's the corporations,
Administrators.
who are just fucking dog shit at their jobs and don't know anything about how to run a school.
Extremely incompetent.
Oh, dude.
Do you guys have those really weird hall pass things too? Like they tie like a bowling pin or some shit to it?
Some classes.
No, it depended. Yeah, it depended on the teacher.
Yeah. Most of the time it's ready to slip.
One teacher had a straight up 2x4. One had the top half of a bowling pin. We had some weird shit.
Most teachers just gave us these little pink slips.
Yeah.
That had what time that we left and where we were going and that kind of thing. So if a teacher saw us walking around, they could look at the pink slip and see if we were just wandering the hallways aimlessly, which happened more often than we'd like to admit.
Yeah.
But back to my story.
Go ahead.
I was walking to my locker, and so nobody else was really in the hallway. Everybody else was already back in their classrooms.
Mhm.
And a guy that's in Austin's grade, he comes up to me because he knew me from football, right? I played football. So he knew me.
First name.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember? Okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Because he was below me. So he only knew me because he had seen me.
Ah.
Right. So he sees me walking and he walks up to me. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," because I'm a guy, if you were to just a random stranger, if you were to walk up to me on my street, on the street and start talking to me, I would hold a 3-hour conversation with you.
Oh yeah, 100%. if you walk up to me randomly and like you're just like a random person, like not if you're like a fan or like if you're like someone I've talked to before or something, yeah, no, I'm nice, whatever. But if you're like just a random person and you catch me on just like the wrong day, I can be like really bitchy unintendedly.
The wrong day.
The wrong day.
By the way, the wrong day is 365 days a year.
No,
Just
it's
for
not.
anyone.
Okay, it depends where we're at too. Like if we're on college campus, someone randomly walks up to me and talks to me, I'm not gonna be a problem. In high school, if it was like if I'm in going like passing the hall or whatever, I have places to be.
It was like a rabid animal.
I was literally, dude. There was a freshman who would literally like he just randomly walked up to me one day and was just talking some stupid shit to me like first thing in the morning. I was like, bro, you have 5 seconds to get the fuck out of my face before I throw you over the stairwell. I don't have time for your shit today. And he just ran away.
Really bad. Really bad.
That's the type of shit we're dealing with here. You have to know the time and the place.
Not me.
No.
You could literally walk up to me off the street. I had never seen you before. I would literally hold a conversation. I won't ask you your name. I won't ask a thing. I'll just sit there and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my dad is.
So I'm walking down the hallway. He approaches me. He starts talking to me. Obviously, I recognize him, but I don't really know him because he's a grade below me. He's not on the team with me.
Yeah.
Like, all I have ever done is seen him. So he starts talking to me, and I'm getting in my locker. And these two people show up.
Mhm.
And at this point, I had no idea what was going on. I was literally just in my locker to get like my Spanish book or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was just trying to get back to homeroom just so I could do my homework. So he's talking to me, and these two black guys show up, and they start like talking back and forth to each other. And it's been what 4 years since this happened, so I can't remember exactly what was said.
Yeah.
But they were kind of talking back and forth a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, like you won't do shit, like fuck off, get out of here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I am completely separated from the situation. I am just in my locker. So I grab my book and I start walking back to homeroom. And the guy who was talking to me, who was obviously having an active argument with these two gentlemen, starts walking with me as well because he was originally walking with me. And
Yeah.
so we're just walking away from these two guys, and they're still yelling at him. And out of nowhere, seemingly for me, because I had my back turned the whole time, I had no idea. I never saw anything coming. One of these gentlemen runs up behind the guy who was talking to me and just Superman punches him in the back of the fucking head.
Oh my! I think I know who you're talking about now. Was it? Wait, was the kid's name Spencer? Who was in?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
that kid got expelled.
I know.
He was a fucking dick to me, dude. I about rocked his shit too when I was in like the locker room because he was an annoying asshole. Dude, I was lifting weights and he came and sprayed like ice cold water on my back as I was like mid lift.
That's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It's funny until the bar is like right above your fucking head.
True.
Then it's not that
It's
funny.
still kind of funny. It's still kind of funny. So this Spencer, as you so
I'm not cutting out his name. That motherfucking can burn in hell. Like honestly, I hate that piece of shit.
And most people who hear this story will also agree by the time they kind of understand the context a little bit about what's going on. But right now, I'm keeping them in the dark as much as I was.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, to me, seemingly, because I wasn't really listening to the conversation.
Yep.
This black kid, this black gentleman, runs up behind this Spencer and just Superman like jumps and punches him in the back of the head.
Let's go, my boy.
Oh, so Spencer obviously goes to the ground. Like he stumbles and then falls.
This was the fight that got him expelled, I think, actually.
The fight isn't what got him expelled. It's the context of the fight.
Oh
that got him
yeah,
expelled.
I heard he had a fight and he got expelled. I thought that was a fight that got expelled.
No. It's the context of this fight.
I never put those dots together before because you never told me it was him.
Yeah. It was the context of this fight that got him expelled.
Holy shit.
So he goes to the ground, he stumbled, and this other guy who had just Superman punched him in the back of the head. He's probably slid like 10 feet away from me by now.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, if there's a video of this in which I literally do not change the speed at which I'm walking at all. Like
So
Austin knows
unfazed.
this.
Yeah.
Austin knows this. I stroll. Like I walk really, really slowly.
Bro,
And
what's
I
not a
al-
care in the world?
Don't look at explosions.
Yeah, I literally walk like Andy Dufresne. Okay, like
Yes.
I just stroll around like literally nothing's going on.
Mhm.
So I do not change my walking cadence at all. So come to find out, these two black kids are brothers.
Oh.
Okay, so one of them, the one that originally punched him in the back of the head, has him by the back of the shirt. Spencer has Spencer by
Mhm.
the back of the shirt, and is just punching him in the face, just over and over again.
I remember what the context is now. Holy shit! I just remembered.
So
Oh yeah.
he's punching Spencer in the face just over and over again. And
Yeah.
his brother runs up past me.
Mhm.
And while this kid has Spencer, because Spencer's like on his butt, like sitting, and he has like the kid like getting hit in the face, his brother runs up beside him and starts kicking Spencer in the torso.
Yeah.
Spencer is literally dead in the water. He
Oh
has
fuck.
no
Yeah.
chance.
Good.
And yeah, well, at the time, not good in my
At the time,
mind.
not good, but now good.
Yeah, but now it's like okay.
I would have fucking let him just get killed there. Like, you know what? Let it happen. Just walk away. Out
Okay,
of
here's
sight,
the
out of
thing.
mind.
If I had known the context, I wouldn't have stopped it, but I would have discouraged it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have been like, "That's enough. That's enough. Stop it. Bad. No, bad.
Dude,
bad.
you would have gotten your ass kicked for talking to them like that. 100%.
Dude, they couldn't have done shit to me. The two of them, they were like half my size.
Oh, okay. I'm picturing something else. Okay.
No, I easily could have taken both of these guys.
I'm
like at the same
picturing
time.
like Christian's height kind of people.
No. I easily could have taken both these guys in a fight. Like if it was
Oh,
1-on-2,
oh yeah.
I easily could have gotten both of them. But not Spencer, because he got ambushed and he was like their size.
Yeah.
Because this was before he got taller. This was like freshman year for you guys, obviously. So everybody was still kind of short, middle school kind of stature.
Yeah. Honestly,
So
if I would have known that it was Spencer who was getting beaten up, without the context, I probably still would have helped those guys beat him up. Honestly, I fucking hated that guy. He was such a dick.
okay, so here's the thing: I didn't have any experience with him. I never talked to him.
Yeah.
The only experience I'd had with him is seeing him, like in the locker room,
Get his ass kicked.
a couple of times.
Oh.
So I'm walking. He's getting kicked and punched at the same time, and I see this, and I'm like, okay, I can't let this happen.
Mhm.
So without changing my walking cadence, like you can watch, like I wish I could show you guys the video because it's hilarious. I just drop my stuff just on the ground. I just drop it. I
Yeah.
do not change my walking cadence. I walk straight in between the guy kicking Spencer and Spencer. So the
Mhm.
guy kicking Spencer like backs off because he sees me. Just I walk straight in between them,
Mhm.
like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And I get to the guy that's punching him in the face, and I fucking launch him into this door. Like I shove him. He literally catches airtime,
I remember seeing this. It was so funny. Like,
and he hits this door with just thunderous mass. Obviously, instant attention from the teacher in that room. He comes out immediately. And is like, "What happened? What happened?" And I'm like, "Listen, I just broke up this fight. I just want to go back to homeroom." And he was like, "Okay." And I left. I literally walked away.
Mhm.
Like I grabbed my stuff and I walked away. So come to find out, like a little while later in the day, I'm approached by one of my buddies, and he goes, "Hey, Bunner's looking for you."
now that guy's the dean, by the way, for anyone in the
The
story.
dean of discipline. Bunner
dean,
was
yeah.
our dean of discipline at our school,
Fucking
and he
asshole.
was
I hated
what?
that guy too.
Okay, well, Bunner was 6'7".
He also had a stick up his ass about 6'8".
True, it like came out his mouth.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Yeah, so he was like 6'7". He was an intimidating man. He was.
Yeah, 100%. He had a stern voice.
Yeah. So,
He was almost
buddy
like a drill
mine-
sergeant kind of like demeanor.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So a buddy approached me. Hey, Bunner's looking for you. I was like, okay. Obviously, I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
So I go to his secretary. I'm like, hey, I'm the student that broke up the fight earlier today. I was told the Bunner was looking for me. She goes, okay, here's the slip. Come back, 8th period. So I go on about my day.
Yeah.
Like nothing's happening.
Mhm.
And so I had a calc test, 7th period. So I took my calc test and I left. I just went straight to his office. And no, not a calc test, sorry. A pre-calc test. Pre-calc and trig test. I walked straight
Yeah.
to his office and I talked to him. And I told him my side of the story about what happened. And he goes, "Well, here's the thing. I can't give you a gold star." Obviously, that gold stars were like never actually a thing. Like
Yeah.
those were literally just symbolic. He wanted to like make me think that my effort wasn't in vain when I already knew it was.
Yeah.
So he goes, "I want to give you a gold star. But you didn't get a teacher, which is the proper protocol
Hey.
whenever it happens."
Technically, you did get a teacher by shoving
Yeah.
that guy so hard
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
fucking door.
Proper
The teacher
protocol.
came out.
And that's exactly what happened in my mind. I was like, well, I did get a teacher. I just used his body to not.
I went a roundabout way about it, you know.
So he was like, "So I'm going to give you a silver star." And I was like, "Thank you. I really appreciate that."
Yes,
And
love
so I
the silver star.
and so I left. So now this was like, I didn't really think about it. I tried not to think about it just because I didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
Come to find out, I can't even remember when I found out, but the context of the fight was the person, the black guy who Superman punched Spencer in the back of the head,
Yeah.
was a homosexual.
Mhm.
And Spencer earlier had called him,
Yeah.
obviously, a slur to homosexuals.
I'll have to bleep that part out probably.
The
pretty sure
the
it's
F
banned on
slur,
YouTube.
the
Yeah.
F slur for homosexuals. And he also, I don't know if this was the same time, had called him the N-word
That's
with
what
a
I
hard
knew.
R.
I knew about that part. I did not know about the other part.
Had called him an N-word with a hard R because Spencer was a country fella.
Here's the thing. He said that a lot, and that's also another reason I hated him. He just didn't fucking shut up.
Yeah, he was a little backwards, a little redneck.
A
He had
little
he had
backwards?
a little
No,
bit of
no,
red
no.
in his neck.
He was a full on like. Okay, I probably should not say that part. Never mind. Go on,
Redneck.
Go on. No, not redneck. I'm talking. He might be. Hey Mason, you've seen Peacemaker, right?
No, I have not because I don't have HBO. I've only seen a bunch of clips.
You've seen his dad, right?
Yeah.
He's basically the embodiment of Homemaker's dad or Peacemaker's dad.
Let's just say this:
Yeah.
Spencer is very likely a part of the Cool Kids Club. You know,
Yeah.
not the Cool Kids Club with K's, not C's.
Yeah.
So he was definitely valid that he got his ass beat.
Oh, 100%, bro. I would have beaten his ass either way.
But at the time, I literally did not know him at all. The only context I had for the fight was this guy was talking to me. He started to walk away from these people that he was arguing with, and then he got fucking Superman punched in the back of the head. And that was the only context I had at the time. So
that hearing that he got expelled for that, like that was pretty satisfying. But I think the most satisfying thing that I've seen happen to this guy was that in the locker room, this guy, just being the fucking idiot that he is, came in wearing like fucking super high socks and only in his fucking underwear. Came in sliding in, started fake punching the air next to people randomly. And so, you know who Peyton is, right? The big dude.
yeah,
He came in and just fucking swung his leg straight up to his nuts and just dropped him. I mean, dude was like on the ground howling. Oh my god, I watched him just drop him like that. I'm like, oh my god, thank you. I went up, I literally shook his hand.
dude, I miss Peyton.
Oh, Peyton was also a dick to me at that time too, but we're good now.
Peyton was always kind of a dick, but he got better.
He got better. I think once he stopped dating Avery, he got better.
I think the real thing was, I think he was just literally just so dumb. He didn't like, all he wanted to do was fit in. So like all the people who were dicks because they were just dicks, like rubbed off on Peyton, who
That's
was
what
like,
happened to Zeke.
yeah,
Like
Peyton, like at his
Zeke were, like,
heart,
best friends, but yeah,
Peyton at his heart was like a good person, but he was the embodiment of like he ran with the wrong crowd.
Yeah, like that's the way like Zeke was too. Like me and him used to be like best friends since like elementary school, like since 3rd grade is when we like became good friends. And like I want to say 8th grade when we started playing football in like high school. he just became this major douchebag. And
That's
I just don't talk to him anymore.
that's the thing for any younger audiences watching this.
Mhm.
What a lot of people don't understand is that like popular people don't act the way they do. Like what Peyton didn't understand was that uh acting the way popular people did doesn't make you popular.
Mhm.
Popular people like acting the way they do, like the popular people act the way they do because they're popular, right?
Yeah,
And you can't get popular by acting the way they do because you're
exactly.
not already popular. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So like
exactly.
I think the best way to make friends, like especially with like kind of the clicky, like the clickier crowds,
Mhm.
is to literally just be nice.
Yeah. Like here's it like Max, right?
Yeah.
Matt Max is a great representation of being one of the most popular things but never being corrupted by it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it mostly had something to do with his girlfriend Briley. I think it had a lot to do with it. Cause like Max used to be kind of like, like at first he like when he was younger he was kind of more of that, but when he started dating Briley, bro was like became like a saint. Like he would always say hi to me and stuff like that. We hadn't talked in years, but like
Yeah.
I think once he saw me at the wedding and I got super drunk around him, he really started like being really
He
nice
was
to
like,
me.
"Oh, look at this poor sad man."
I think it was also the fact that like uh by the fact that I could literally drink like underage drink in front of cops and bartenders and like not and get away with it. It also kind of made me cool in his eyes too. Even
Yeah,
though looking back on it, it's kind of sad.
it's definitely sad.
I'm gonna bleep out that I said above age. I said above age. By the way, viewers,
He was of age
I was of
at
age.
21. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
100% in high school.
Totally legit. You gotta
Totally
believe
legit.
him.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's the thing. If you're drinking with like adults, it's a little different than like
yeah,
drinking at a party with a whole bunch of other idiot teenagers.
exactly. I'm not gonna bleep that out. Actually, I don't care.
Yeah, I think everybody understands like you're not gonna get busted for underage drinking if you're fucking
Mhm.
like if you're with your parents.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I
I
mean?
like it's not like I bought like a fake ID and shit. It's like literally I just have a full beard and they didn't ID me because they just assumed that I was old enough.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding with a bunch of like for a cop's wedding that I'm friends with. Like the best part is they ID'd the groom who was a cop, but they didn't ID me.
Hilarious.
And the groom's like 26, and I was dying when I saw that. And the funny thing was the wife was or like the bride was feeding me shots too. It was such a funny night. Uh, but
Jason, how
yeah.
about you? You got any fight stories from your little school?
Um, not. I mean, I guess it was from high school time. The only one that I really got is me and my brother Zane used to have a friend of ours named Connor, and one night we decided that we were gonna go party and drink with our other buddy named Benson,
Oh yeah.
and because he has a big
Regular show.
pasture,
Yeah.
yeah, he has a big pasture behind his field. So we were gonna go way back into his woods, start a fire, and drink as small town boys do.
Yeah.
And we started off the night. We were drinking. We were having a good time. I think I was the only one not drinking just because I wasn't feeling great.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Benson starts getting like really angry. Like he starts yelling. He starts punching
Oh,
trees.
he's an
Oh,
angry drunk.
I've heard this story before. I think Zane told me this one.
Yeah, and so we just kept trying to calm him down. We're like, dude, just chill, just relax, sit down at the fire. We'll get over it. And then all of a sudden he starts yelling at Connor.
Hmm.
So Connor was the only one there that had a car. So we decided that we were just gonna leave Benson to calm himself down.
Fire.
So we went up to get the car,
Hmm.
and Connor was too drunk to drive. So I went to go. So me and Zane went to go grab it and bring it back, like drive it down the pasture.
Yeah.
And as we're getting Connor into the vehicle, and then I hop in the driver's seat, Zane next to me, we we start to back out of the pasture, and all of a sudden we see this motherfucker just come barreling at us out of the woods, jumps up onto the hood, and just starts beating the windshield in, like fully about to
Yeah.
fucking fracture it. And we immediately fucking floored it back, and then once we got him off the hood, we got out of the car. And I immediately checked on Connor and started trying to get him up more towards the road, more towards public.
Mm-hmm.
And after he got up from being knocked out of the car, Benson continued to get back up, tear ass towards Connor specifically. I don't know why, but he was especially angry at him.
Yeah.
And props to Zane, he tackled the motherfucker like you ever like in the movies you just see like the bad guy or some really big guy just barreling towards them, they just get decked and get taken off camera.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what I saw happen.
Yeah, I remember Zane telling me this story, and it was so funny listening to him tell it.
Dude, that sounds fucking crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
to anyone who has not like drank or like been around drunk people,
Mhm.
there's like a couple of types of drunk people.
Yeah.
Okay, there's like sleepy drunks or people who get like tired when they drink.
Maddie.
There's happy drunks who
Me
get
and
like
my dad.
euphoric.
And you.
And me who get
I'm
like
an honest
euphoric.
drunk myself.
Okay, and there's honest drunks, people who like as soon as they get a little liquor in them, they just start singing like a canary.
My mom.
I gotta be drunk for me to start talking, but once I do, I get a little too comfortable.
Literally, the second alcohol hits her lips, my mom just goes off.
And then the last one is the violent drunk. And if
Yeah.
you at some point,
And I know someone who is, and I'm very angry at them.
if at some point you realize you are the angry drunk, or you meet somebody who's the angry drunk, you should not drink.
If you're the angry drunk, you don't drink. You either go to AA meetings or whatever. Just make sure alcohol is not around you. If you're a violent drunk, if you know someone who is a violent drunk, you either get them to stop drinking, or if they refuse, you knock their ass out. All right.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
No,
I know someone who's a violent drunk, and I'm not gonna say what has happened, but let's just say I'm ready to beat the motherfucker within an inch of his life, and I've met him once, and I'm already ready to kick the fuck out of him.
Yeah, so if you know someone, if you turn out to be a violent drunk, you should not drink.
No.
Okay? Because like people say like sober like drunk actions are sober thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
which is true,
Yes.
but keep in mind that sometimes it's more about the things we won't do than the things we want to do
Yeah.
in life. So praise self-control
Mm-hmm.
over chasing your dreams.
Yeah.
That's
don't-
definitely one way to put it.
Yeah.
Your dreams are not more important than Connor's windshield.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay.
If you were a
Yeah,
violent
rest in
drunk,
peace,
honestly,
Connor's
just
windshield.
like if you're a violent drunk, really, just put yourself in a scenario, or take yourselves out of scenarios where there could be possibility of alcohol. You're like, hey, let's go. Everybody's like, hey, let's go out, eat dinner, whatever. You're like, okay, sick. I'm gonna get a water, right?
Or be like, I'm Mormon. Just say something, you know?
Yes.
Like,
Be
do
like,
something.
I'm actually,
I'm actually on a diet and I don't want to
Yeah.
get like bloated. Yeah.
yeah. And if you have those friends who are like, no, you need to have this drink, be like, I can have this drink, sure, but your ass will get knocked the fuck out. I'm not a good drinker, right? Like, you don't. Honestly, sometimes honesty is the best way, and that's how you get people to stop. So if you find yourself being a violent drinker, stop. But yeah. So back to like fight stories like that. Do you remember when Coach Hape was the MVP of a fight?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so let me tell the story. So I didn't get to see this personally.
I didn't either. I have never. The only fight I've ever seen was the one that I broke up. Keep that in
No.
mind. In high school.
I knew
Like
I've seen a few fights. I just never like gotten involved with them. I literally did be a group pass, and I literally shoved someone out of the way so I could walk past. Right.
I have never seen a fight in person besides the one that I broke up.
Yeah. But anyway, so this fight was in the cafeteria. There was 2 people in my grade who I actually knew, and I didn't like them. But they were like arguing or whatever, just typical fucking stupid high school shit. In the cafeteria, and they just start throwing hands immediately. Like they took the small talk out and they just went straight to fucking fist to face kind of shit, right? Well, our coach at the time, he's no longer a coach there.
Which is bullshit.
He's a fucking big dude. He will rock your shit. I love the guy. He's like the nicest guy ever. His daughter is in my grade, and she is so kind. And his wife's kind. The dude, honestly, the dude is like just fucking amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's about the size of Grant, but beefier. Like, I mean, like more like muscle, right?
Taller.
And taller. He is a Andre the Giant kind of fella, right?
No, okay, he's not an Andre the Giant. He's just he's a built guy. He's a big
He's
guy.
a built guy. I don't know.
Andre the Giant is like a whole different like plane.
Maybe. Anyway, yeah. He's really really tough dude, right? And he had the unlucky choice of having to monitor the cafeteria for that day. Well, unlucky for the kids, not for him. He sees this fight break out within the first 5 seconds. And like just a fucking true champion just marches over. You can hear the fucking stumps, like earthquaking stumps.
The thunderous steps.
Dude, I was on the other side of the like old building. Like I was in the Spanish hallway, right?
Oh, you were in the English tower?
I was in the English tower, which is on the complete opposite. Okay, so there's 2 buildings, right? That are connected through this link. So there's the old building, which I was in, and then you have this like fucking long hallway. And then there's the link, which is also another long hallway, and then you have another hallway to get to the cafeteria. So this is a fucking long way away, and I can still hear the fucking stomps of this motherfucker approaching these kids. Right?
Our school is between a quarter and a half mile wide.
It was pretty large. I could hear this shit. We're like, what's going on in the gym next door or something like that, right? No. And next thing I hear, right? 1 second, I'm gonna cough. Okay, so I hear the stomps, and apparently he stomped over, and without hesitation, grabbed one kid by the shoulders, slammed him down, grabbed the other kid, and just threw his ass down so hard. I'm pretty sure he gave him a concussion because his head hit the fucking tile super hard.
God
right?
damn.
Like this dude fucking knocked them out. Kind of
Literally
shit.
gave these kids whiplash. Like it was pretty. It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. And then he just grabs them both by the fucking neck and drags them to the dean.
It was like a troll dragging a club.
Yeah, it was, bro.
You
Bro
could
took
hear him.
no
He was like,
prisoners.
"Arr."
Bro took no prisoners, and like I was just hearing about this the entire day, of how he was just the MVP of that fight when the fight had nothing to do with him. And I'm just,
he was our football coach, and he was a G.
oh, he was amazing until he put Reed as the quarterback. Because Reed, dude, the fucking refs threw better spirals than Reed did, and he was our starting QB.
Who was a better option?
Honestly,
Exactly.
honestly,
And,
I did not mean to say his last name. I'll leave it out. Nate. Nate was our starting QB. Not that great, but he's still better than Reed. Am I wrong?
I think so, personally.
Who do you think would have been a better option than Reed?
I don't think we had one. That's how shit we were.
Dude, I'm sorry, but if you threw more interceptions than you threw actual successful passes, you should not be a starting QB.
That is not a true statistic.
It was pretty close, bro. I literally went to one game and watched him throw 6 interceptions in one game, bro.
He was better than Eli.
Okay, that's not saying much.
True.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad.
All right, I'm like about to piss my pants. Mason, Start telling a story. We're gonna cut this
All
whole
right.
section out because I'm about to pee my pants.
I love a story.
I have another story. I have another story.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. You guys
Okay.
can keep going.
Right, I'm listening.
Actually, I think I may have told this on the last podcast. Did I tell about the staircase sex scene or the one?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm not gonna lie. Last time I was kind of zoning in it out.
I'm pretty sure I told about the staircase sex thing that happened in my school that I heard during the football game.
I could tell you about my Spanish teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Spanish teacher at my school was like the whitest of white person possible.
Oh yeah.
Straight up Karen as a Spanish teacher.
Yep. We had one of those.
Yeah, so I kind of no one really got along with her, but one day there starts rumors to be spreading around that she's been fucking a few students and giving them better grades.
Ooh. Let's go. Let's
And
go.
For the longest time, it was just rumors.
Don't tell me it was actually true.
Until apparently the Spanish teacher and one of the seniors in my oldest brother Bryce's grade was caught in the auditorium.
Oh my god.
And she did not get fired.
Are you serious?
Yeah, still works there to this day, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Okay. So, a story that I want to tell is just how bad, like, I want to switch this segment over to just how bad our fucking corporation was that ran our school district. So, our thing had, let's see, 1, 2, yeah, I think they had about 5 schools in high school. And they had like a bunch of middle and elementary schools. It was pretty big. Right? They had 4 or 5. So they were not good at their jobs. They were about as shitty at their jobs as you can get, right? They make
riot games for schools.
What?
yeah. We're talking about how bad the corporation was that ran our school.
Oh, yeah, really bad.
So let's just say they make Biden look competent, you know. That's the level we're at right now. So I'm gonna tell 2 stories about just like the worst cases that we've seen so far in their decision making. Right? So the first one has to do with student mental health. So they were hosting a school board meeting. Actually, no, I have 3 stories now. I just remembered one. There's first off, there was the one that there was a school board meeting held, and two students who were girls or whatever asked this like the council was like, hey, there's been an increase in suicide rates in your school district lately. What is or the corporation planning on doing to try and help prevent this, right? You want to know what the fucking one of the bitches on the council, right? What her response was?
Drop it on me.
Cry me a river.
That's
what I would have said.
That's that kind of mentality.
It's just
man, bro, fuck them kids.
It's okay. Like, I can understand if you were like, okay, we haven't thought of a plan yet, you know, that didn't seem like our kind of responsibility at first, even though, let's be honest, high school systems have really been one of the main reasons why kids do that, because high school fucking blows.
If you want to be a real toxic asshole, you could get someone to start venting their feelings to you and then immediately just say "didn't ask" halfway through them talking.
I've done that before.
It's so satisfying sometimes.
All the emo people.
Yeah. No,
you speaking is why your dad left.
Yeah. No, but like it's just like the fact that like you are in a position of power where like you have to be the person who makes decisions for it, and your response is to people like asking for help is like, yo, fuck yourself kind of thing. You're just a dick. Like you clearly should not be on the board at that point, right? But that wasn't the worst case. So another person on the school board recently just got caught in a drug bust. Did you see that, Grant?
Oh.
No.
Yeah, one of the council members of the school board recently just got caught in a drug bust with her boyfriend in a meth raid.
I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
Jesse, we need to cook.
Yeah. But the funny thing was she was at my graduation. And this next part is my personal one that I've had the experience of how I really wanted to go up to the council members. And actually I did call the fucking office for it at first. I'll get to that part in a minute. I really want to go up there and just fucking punch every single council member who made this decision. So, this is the first snowfall of last year, or like last school year, right? So the year prior, the first snowfall, they shut down schools the night before, right? And then it barely snowed any. So like, oh, we don't want to make the same mistake again, which is understandable. But also, make sure you do your research a little bit before you make a fucking decision. So they're like, oh, there's snowfall predicted. We don't want to make sure we make the same mistake again. So we're not going to ice the roads or the sidewalks.
Retreat.
Or we're not going to ice any, or not, I mean, not ice. We're not going to salt any of this shit, right? We're not going to salt anything so that the ice melts. Just in case. No. We're going to send these kids in the parking lot and to go to school in the parking lot with no salt down or anything like that. So, yeah. It's not going to snow that much, right?
Keep in mind, our high school is literally like on what's called Wright Hill.
Yes.
Hill being the key word.
Yes. So, this is a steep ass hill. Like, a steep ass hill. And I parked at the bottom of the hill.
Our I'm sorry, I just saw what Mason sent in the chat.
Oh, what he sent?
Our football, like what used to be beneath our high school, like used to be a coal mine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so like there's an area off to the side of the school where the tunnels have started collapsing.
Yep.
That's another story. We'll talk about sledding down Wrights Hill as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway,
it's steep. Like it's really bad.
Yeah, that comes in a minute. So, first off, we get there at 7 a.m. and it is fucking snowing harder than I've ever seen. Like it was almost like when I first got there that morning, I thought it was gonna be a fucking blizzard, right? Like just driving there. It started like 30 minutes ago. Just driving there felt like I was already about to slide off the road. I was not ready for it. And so, I get there, I park, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we in school right now? And I'm looking at the thing, and it's supposed to snow all day. I'm like, we should not be in school if it's snowing this hard. So, they didn't salt anything, right? Nothing was prepared. So we go to classes. Now keep in mind, I have to go to classes halfway, I have to go to another school halfway through the day. So, this is a week-long event, by the way. Or like half a week, I'll describe it. So this is on a Friday. So I get out there and there's already like 2 inches of snow. Like halfway through the day when I'm ready to go to the next school. I'm like, I'm not fucking driving in this shit. My friend tried to. We'll get to that in a second. I'm like, I'm gonna take the bus. Right? So I decided to take the bus. My friend decided that he was gonna drive. He actually spun out in the parking lot 5 times and decided, fuck it, I'm not going to the next school if it's gonna be like this. And he just drove home. He just drove home. He was so fucking done.
Fuck that.
Yeah, he spun out 5 times. Like, cause they didn't salt the other parking lot too, because it was also part of the school system. So I take the bus, and the bus is like, oh, the other bus couldn't make it to the school that's not in our school system, but it's going to that same school, so we need to stop there too. Now, their front door is also on a hill.
Oh my god.
What's up with all these fucking hills?
Okay, they sit in a valley, right? So we live on a hill, and they sit in a valley.
Yeah. So, our bus goes down this hill, and picks them up, and it tries to go back up the hill. It gets halfway up, slides right back down. And I just hear the bus driver. I'm like, I was up towards the front a little bit more. I just hear the bus driver mumble under his breath like, "That's not supposed to happen."
That's not how this works.
And so he's like, "All right, here we go again." Floors it back up there, makes it a little bit further, slides right back down. And by the second time they're sliding, some students have gathered towards the windows and are just watching the chaos that's unfolding for this poor school bus trying to get up this hill that does not have the capacity to. And so it takes us about probably 10 times before we actually make it up the hill. Right? We just had to keep building our tracks for it. So we finally we're finally going up there. We go to classes. And by this point, like, we're supposed to be there at 11:40, right? It's already 12. So, right around 11:50, we get an email from the corporation saying we are not going to be canceling schools for the rest of the day because it is supposed to stop snowing at 12. One, if you check the forecast, it's not supposed to stop snowing until 4 o'clock, because that was bullshit. But two, I was like, okay, clearly they're lying. So I'm looking out at 12. It's still fucking pour, like, it's just still snowing as hard as hell right out there, right? So I actually, like, as I'm sitting on the bus, I actually fucking call the office of the corporation. I'm like, hey, so you know how it says supposed to stop snowing at 12? Well, it must have stopped snowing at 12 and started up again at 12:01 because it's still fucking snowing outside.
Got him.
And I'm just like, what
that email at 12 o'clock was literally just the corporation being too stubborn to admit that they fucked up.
Yeah, literally, that's what it was. That's literally what it was. And so, oh, and there's another case of stubbornness too. Just wait. So, yeah, luckily my grandpa, being the saint he is, he picks me up from that school because the school bus wasn't gonna be able to take me back to that school. I couldn't drive again, right? I wasn't gonna, but my parents didn't want me to drive back in the snow yet because I really hadn't learned much. I had driven like once in the snow, and so my grandpa takes me back to our office or whatever that we owned. That's the rest of the day gone. Now, it was Friday, so it's the weekend happens. The weekend happens. There's still a lot of snow on the ground, like probably like 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground, and a hell of a lot of ice.
3 or 4 inches of snow. That's actually laughable. You'll learn soon.
Oh no.
If anything like last year happens this year, you'll learn.
Oh yeah, no, you got hit with it first, but you know how bad it was, right?
But we got 1.5 feet.
Yeah. Like we got like probably like 8 inches, I feel like.
Okay, Mason, keep in mind, like, where me and Austin come from, we get like maybe an inch a year.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. Like, we get very little snow.
Wish.
We
We
get
get
like
very
probably,
little snow.
we get probably like 3 inches of snow per year, like combined.
But it's never it's never at one time.
No.
If I don't have several feet throughout several months, it's just something's wrong.
I wish.
I wish.
You
Yeah,
say
no.
that.
It's like we barely get any, right? So it happened. We were hit with a lot, and our school's response to this on Monday is saying, "Hey, there's 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. You guys can go. You guys can go to school. You're fine."
I agree.
You got this. I had to go
So-
to school uphill both ways.
Dude, at
Here's-
Purdue,
here-
people be going around on skis.
Here's the thing, right?
Good old snowshoes.
When you're driving in snow, it's not about how you drive. It's about how stupid others are on snow.
Which is
And-
a real problem around here.
Yeah, with the town that me and Grant grew up in, they are fucking stupid at driving. Like, actually, I'm surprised half of them got their licenses. Right? It's bad.
Okay. To be fair, where me and Austin live, like specifically in our city, there's a significant percentage of drivers that are over the age of 65.
Yeah.
Okay. And probably half of those over the age of 65 are also women. And old women, where me and Austin come from, tend to be like 5'2",
Yep.
which means they literally cannot see over the steering wheel.
It's pretty bad.
Like, literally.
It's
They,
pretty
like,
bad.
I have seen people who drive looking through the gap in between the steering wheel and the dashboard.
Yep. So anyway, yeah. Within, I don't know, probably the first, I want to say probably 5 minutes of getting to my school, I already get a bunch of texts saying, "Hey, we've seen 3 wrecks from or three of our friends have been in wrecks today." I think there were a total of like 10 wrecks that morning that happened from like just the students alone.
Yeah, I was drifting around up here.
So
Tokyo
anyway,
drifting around.
So anyway, the we get to the parking lot. Me and my friends are like, "Okay, this is stupid," right? And now here comes our first big trial that we have to face. So first off, they didn't bother to fully like
Wow.
plow the snow on the roads very well. So you have about a 1-lane road now instead of a 2-lane road. And so you either are going.
They plowed enough so you can see the double yellow.
There is no double yellow
Oh, you mean like on
on the
like,
hill.
Right?
On the hill.
Oh, okay.
They have literally made one line, like one.
I thought you meant in general.
No. I mean, like they have literally made one road. So your choices to get up the hill from the bottom of the hill are either to go on the middle of the road and probably get hit because people aren't paying attention in high school. To go up the stairs of the football stadium, which are covered in 2 inches of ice, and you'll probably break your fucking neck, which you probably would either way just by not being in ice, because the stairs are pretty bad.
It is pretty bad, yeah.
It's pretty bad. So imagine covered in ice too, and then also the handrail being covered in ice, so you're fucked. Or to go up the sidewalk of the hill, which oh, that looks covered in snow. There was about a few dusts of snow on it, and 3 or 4 inches of ice covering it that we could not see.
See, this right here. This is where you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome.
So
You have to walk through the grass areas.
No.
Where the
No.
thick snow is.
No. There was no snow anymore, Grant. The grass was all ice. I learned that lesson. I'll get to it in a second. Sorry. Okay. We're like, okay, that looks like it has snow on it. The sidewalk. We're gonna take the sidewalk. So we take one step and we're like, oh shit, this is ice. Now we have we all look at each other, realizing our mistake, and we're like, okay,
it's decision time.
It's decision time. Like, are we gonna be stupid enough and be stubborn enough to just go like full send up the rest of this icy hill, or are we gonna take the chance of getting hit? And we're like,
Hans, get the ice picks.
yeah, we're like, okay, we're gonna sprint up this hill. And so, me being first, I was the one that went up first, and I am like booking it up this hill, and somehow I am doing it. Now keep in mind, my shoes have no traction on them, and that comes important in a minute.
I can't confirm because I once had the exact same shoes.
They literally have no fucking
problem.
traction. It is basically like they're flat. And
These are flat.
worn down. These are worn down shoes too, so they're practically flat. And now my buddies are using the same footpath I took because I dug into the ice a bit, so they get up fine too. Now here's the problem, right? Again, I go for half the day to the other school, so
He has to get back down.
I have to get back down the hill to my truck. So I'm like, oh, I'm not taking the staircase again, or not taking the staircase. It was fine getting up the hill. What could go wrong with going down the hill with no traction?
Absolutely nothing.
So there's a bunch of football players in front of me. I'm like, okay. I take one step on, and I'm like, oh, this seems fine. I'm walking on a flat surface. I'm like, this seems fine, right? And all of a sudden, I slip and I slide, and I have that like kind of like cartoon style. My foot slides out from under me, and like goes up in the air above my head, and I fall flat on my ass, kind of shit, like that. That's kind of what happened. I'm like, oh, ow. Okay, it's fine. I can recover from this. So I push back up. I push myself back up, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna slide back down the hill. So I'm gonna take one step towards the road. I'm just gonna walk down the road, right? Screw if I get hit, whatever. I don't care at this point. I take a step.
That would have been my first choice.
Yeah,
Was
I
walking
know.
down the plowed road. That would have been the first place I went.
I wasn't that
I
smart.
wouldn't have even bothered. I wouldn't have even
I know.
bothered with the
I
fucking
know.
sidewalk.
So I take one step on the sidewalk towards the road, and my foot slides out from under me again, but not like where I am actually falling. Like I'm just sliding at this point, like I'm snowboarding. So I am sliding down this hill, covered in ice, and I am just fucking hauling ass. And I'm like, oh fuck, and the football players just turn around and just see me, like fucking zooming down this hill until I face plant against a tree.
That's actually fucking hilarious.
I'm glad there were witnesses.
Now keep in mind, right? There's about probably, I don't know, 15 feet worth of grass after the sidewalk before the tree, but because the ground was covered in ice, or because the grass was covered in ice, it was virtually the same thing. So I kept sliding through the grass until I hit this tree so fucking hard it knocked the wind out of me.
Oh my. Okay, yeah. After this, we have to talk about Wright's Hill,
Yeah, we will.
like sledding, because it is ass.
So I was like, oh, I couldn't breathe very well, and I'm like, okay, I still have a quarter of the hill to go. So I said, fuck it, I'm not taking another step. I sit down on my ass and push myself the rest of the way until I get to the stairs and like crawl my way down them so I can walk to my truck. Cause I just broke my ass, got the wind knocked out of me, face planted against the tree. I had nothing to lose at this point.
You had no pride left.
Yeah.
It stayed on top of that hill that day.
Yeah.
That's when you like just cut your losses and switch to penguin mode. You just like get on your belly and start like crawling your way.
That's pretty much what I did. So, yeah, then I walked to my truck, and I'm looking down, and my pants are just fucking wet.
Soaked.
They're soaked. And these are khakis, too, so they're not drying quickly.
And it's obvious that they're wet.
It's pretty obvious. So I said, fuck it. I drive to Chick-fil-A, grab me some comfort food, and go to the school. And guess what? They still did not decide to salt anything. They waited until that ice melted completely. Another genius move by this fucking administration.
Bro.
It was so bad, dude. Especially my senior year. It was bad pretty much all the way around, but it was especially bad my senior year, Grant.
It's actually so interesting how salt works to dissolve ice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because like you'd think it's like, well, you put salt with ice to like make like milk cold enough to freeze into ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're like, well, wouldn't that just like make the ice colder?
Yep.
But it actually doesn't, because the salt makes the ice have a higher melting, like have a lower melting temperature.
Yep.
And so that's why it melts it. Little tidbit for anybody who didn't know how that worked.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Will Tsai, the somewhat science guy.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the infamous Wright's Hill. Now, okay, here's the thing. When me and Austin were younger, it was better. Okay. Because we used to get more snow.
Yeah.
Like we used to get, 5, maybe 6 inches at a time. Nowadays, it's like 1 inch, 2 inches max. Like we only ever get dusting. So back in the day, you could ride down Wright's Hill. It was perfectly fine. Now, what I said earlier about how Wright's Hill used to be a coal mine is really important. So Wright's Hill, as you can imagine, is just this ginormous divot in the ground. That's the only way I can describe it, because the slope of the hill is what? It's probably 60 degrees, right, Austin?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe
even more. It's pretty bad.
No, not more. The slope of Wright's Hill is somewhere between 45 and 60 degrees from like the plateau at the bottom to the top. and the top is probably what, like 100 feet in elevation from the bottom.
Yeah, something like that.
So if you looked at a topographical map of Wrights Hill, it would literally just look like a solid black area where the incline is just so steep. There would be 10 lines in like a 20-foot wide span. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So back in the day, before the coal mines had started to collapse, it was just a perfect slope, right? So you could just ride it all the way down, no problems at all. But since the coal mines have started to collapse, that means the entrance tunnels have started to sag, like sink into the hill. So you can imagine it as if you took a giant cut, like a giant triangle, and cut into the hill. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
now it's like hill gradient, and then a vertical drop, and then a horizontal plateau back into a hill gradient. And these cuts are huge.
Yeah.
So I remember sledding one time, and we had probably gotten 2, maybe 3 inches of snow. And
Mhm.
we went to Wrights Hill to sled, and obviously I was using one of those like cheap plastic ones.
Yeah.
Thank God I was using one of those, and not like my family has like a proper toboggan,
Mhm.
like wood metal. Like, we have a proper one. Thank God I wasn't on that, because that shit would have broken. That would have been in
Yeah.
absolute shreds.
100%.
I am going down Wrights Hill, and I ramp one of these coal mine entrances that's collapsed. So I catch probably, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 seconds of airtime after hitting, this tunnel collapse entrance,
Yep.
and I smack the ground
Oh.
so fucking hard, like, because I was literally like, I had been in the air long enough that I had like reached like proper free fall,
Yeah.
and I was close enough to the bottom that I didn't fall into the gradient of the hill. I
Mhm.
ramped the collapse, and I hit the bottom plateau of the hill.
Yeah.
And so, have you ever seen the video of the guy who is like Russian and he's like promoting his band, and he's
Yeah.
like at a dock with a frozen lake, and he jumps and he like lands on it, and then he's like in a cannonball position, and then he just like strains into a board.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you're
That's
talking about.
that's what happened to me. I hit like just my butt.
Oh, damn.
Like, I hit kind of like tilted back, so my butt hit just a little before my back did.
Ooh.
I got the wind knocked out of me, and I could not breathe for 45 seconds.
Ooh.
I was, like, gasping for air for, like, 45 seconds, and then this whole time, I didn't know what was going on. So, like, my survival instinct kicked in, and the only thing I could think to do was just make it back to the top of the hill where my parents were.
Yeah.
So I cannot breathe. I am dragging my sled up this fucking horrific gradient. And every, like, 20 or so seconds, I'll slip and fall back down like 10 feet.
Mhm.
So it's like like, you take an inch and you lose a mile. That's kind of how it felt for
Yeah.
like a while, because I couldn't breathe and I was just fighting my way to get to the top of the hill.
Uh-huh.
It was a horrific experience.
See, you wanna know what
Distance
your problem
feels
was?
so much worse when you get the wind knocked out of you. It feels like it extends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So you know what your problem was, Grant? You
I
didn't
went
go to
sledding on Wrights
Helfrich.
Hill.
Yeah, you didn't go to Helfrich.
Helfrich is definitely better. I've been to Helfrich, but
Yeah.
this was before I was like really aware of just how bad Wrights Hill had gotten.
Oh, okay.
Because I had gone to Helfrich for like 2 years, and then it
Mhm.
snowed, and my parents were like, "Why don't we go to Wrights Hill?" And I was like, "All right." And so we went, and I never went back. I never tried again,
Dude, Paoli? Oh my god, I wanna go back there sometime.
dude. It's like all ice though.
Paoli?
Yeah, dude. You got to go to somewhere more northern for like better skiing.
I went snowboarding, not skiing, but last time I
Well,
went to
still,
Paoli,
in
it was
general.
mostly snow.
No, Paoli always ends up being like really icy for some reason. I think
And
it's just like where it is.
it must have been on what time you go to. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
probably it.
But I think 100% sometime you and me this winter, like for Christmas break, need to organize a little trip where we go somewhere like that.
I'd be game. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not very good.
I've gone snowboarding once, but I really want to go again. Here's the thing, me and my dad went once, but my mom stole my dad's snowboard like pretty much right after in a garage sale. and he was pissed, and so we never
Oof.
went again.
We can both learn how to snowboard.
Yeah, well, I
Again.
know how to
That's the
snowboard.
one thing I
It's
can
been a
do
minute.
decently.
I haven't done it in a long time either. So
Yeah.
What was that, Mason?
That's the one thing I can do decently.
Snowboard or ski?
Snowboard. I can't. I don't like skiing.
Skiing's hard because like it feels like you have lag input on your body.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I
like the
mean?
feeling when I snowboard because I feel like I'm constantly drifting, so to
Yeah,
say.
that's the thing. I like snowboarding because you're just going, you're just booking it, and then when you go to stop, you can either drift it and fall on your ass, or you can literally just fucking turn and fall on your ass.
It's also easier to get up
Yes.
if you have a snowboard than it is with a ski. I will say that. I also, because that's a big thing when you're on a snowboard, you can like undo it. Like if you fall, you can just undo it with your hands and then
Yeah.
like get a foot out and then redo it. But if you're on a ski, like you have to like really hit it. And if you have like a higher level ski
Mhm.
lock on your skis, it's so hard to get them off if you
Yeah.
fall.
100%.
So snowboarding is definitely better. I like snowboarding more than skiing because I'm really good at shifting my center of mass.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just something like really instinctual for me.
Yeah.
Like being able to like kind of like weave and keep my balance.
Yeah.
Skiing, it's like I feel like my feet are sliding just erratically,
Yeah.
right? They're not like if they were sliding together, I could compensate for it
Mhm.
because I'm decent at like keeping my balance like that. But because skiing, like I feel like I'm constantly like slipping
Mhm.
and not like sliding. That's a big thing. Snowboarding, you're sliding. Skiing, you're slipping, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll we can look at like after this we can look at some places to go snowboarding because I really want to do that with you sometime. Just
Okay.
winter break. Anyway, yeah.
I might be able, maybe I'll find the big rainbow crochet hat my mom made.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
literally
gonna
like
need pictures for scientific purposes.
yeah.
I'll have to get I'll have to take a picture when I'm home. It's like literally 2 feet long. Like
Nice.
and there's like a giant like dangle like pom pom on the top of it. So like whenever it's on your head, it literally touches your ass. Like it's so funny. It's
I think I
huge.
know what you're talking about. Actually, I feel like I've seen this.
You might have. I don't know. It's hilarious though. It's huge.
I can just picture it. All right. Well, we're at like an hour and 7 minutes now. We should probably go ahead and wrap things up.
Mason never told a single story.
No, he told a story. He told a fight story about the punching out of the windshield.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. We just have a lot of stories, Grant, that we just keep
I-
going back and forth on.
Yeah, that's what you guys are able to riff off with each other. You know, I just tune in when needed.
Yeah, you give helpful feedback and like just make it fun. You know, you make jokes. That I don't know. I like the dynamic that we all have. So I think a lot of other people do too. It's really good.
I don't know, especially with how little energy I have right now.
Yeah, I
It
think this
works a lot
episode was
better
needed.
for me.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you all for listening so much. We really appreciate y'all listening.
Bro.
We
Don't trust Bill Cosby.
yeah, true. Now we're
Unless it's a daiquiri, and then it might be worth the chance.
we're just a bunch of like gaggle folks here. We've been friends for like what 5+ years. I know Grant, me and you have been like almost 8 years. Mason's probably been like more closer to 6 years soon, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, no, I kid. The fact that like, you're taking time out of your day to listen to us is just it's nice. Thank you for doing that. But also,
I can't get past the gaggle fucks. What does that mean? Can you like explain?
so basically,
Do you mean like a gaggle of fucks?
yes,
Or okay.
yeah. That's basically what it boils down to.
I just heard you say gaggle fucks, and I was like, what does that even fucking mean?
It's more just like a fucking term of like
A gaggle
chuckle
isn't like
nuts,
a
chuckle nuts
gaggle of
and,
nuns. Okay.
yeah, you know,
So
it's shit
we're
like
we're like the unholy version of nuns.
that. Yeah.
We're the brothers, the boys.
The boys.
The not so Three Musketeers.
Insert audio clip of the boys intro, like the Bonnie.
No,
That would be a great cutoff where I just say the boys and then it just cuts to that audio clip. It would be so funny.
Copyright though.
It's only like a couple of notes though.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, thank y'all for listening to us. Honestly, like we're pretty stupid. Probably don't deserve it. Definitely don't deserve it, but we appreciate it a lot. We're I mean, what? I'm just a streamer and just trying to be an engineer, but really don't want to be. Grant's gonna be an engineer, and Mason, I don't know. What you got going for you?
I just kind of exist.
Yeah, fair enough. He's the Patrick Star of our group.
True.
Wow. What does that make you and me?
So you're the Seth Rogen, as Mason pointed out the other day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Mason's, Mason's the Patrick Star. What am I? What
You're
do you?
Squidward.
Squidward. True. That's such.
Money.
No.
I'm the Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Honestly, I know I've said it a bunch of times this episode, but we really appreciate it. Anyway,
it's
thank y'all
me.
for listening to the logical episodes. Yep.
Thank you for listening to the Logical Idiots podcast.
Thank you, Mason.
Listen,
Take
now-
it away.
no,
Take out the
no,
outro.
now you gotta do it.
No,
Now
I
you
gotta
repeat it.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the Idiots of Logical.
No, we'll
YouTube.
take it.
No, you know, we'll take it. Yeah. No.
You really are a pathological idiot.
Yeah.
It's like so ingrained.
Oh, it's such. I saw a meme the other day where it's just like when me inside my head, and it's just like, say we ponder the vast universe by gazing at the beautiful stars. Me and my actually coming out in my mouth or whatever. It's like, yeah, you great, yeah, look great. It's just like that's what happens. Like my brain knows what I want to say, but my mouth doesn't.
Dude, I felt that.
It's so bad, dude. It's
Dude, you know what that sounds like?
what?
Autism. Say
Well,
la vie.
hey, I'm a streamer, so it makes sense.
Say la vie.
Anyway, yeah. Thank y'all for listening to this episode. This is just a fucking stupid episode, but I love it so
How many
much.
times are we gonna do the outro?
As many times as it takes before we finally fucking cut off the episode.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll cut it off at say la vie.
Yeah. This
Or,
has
you know,
been-
maybe say la vie.
Say la vie.
or
Do you
or
know what say
maybe-
la vie means?
or maybe it's